I'm Jeff Gould, America's Storyteller. I'm talking about business and I'm talking about stories, and stories are the best way to train and keep and help a business prosper. I'm going to talk about in this short episode today the end of all businesses, the story arc of what happens to businesses, and the eye test that proves that a business is in danger that anybody can see, and the hidden opportunity that comes in that. And I'm going to give a couple of examples. Okay, so let's go to the story map. Here's my sigmoid curve, which we've talked about before. And here is our businesses and how they are working with the story. So in the businesses, they are seeking they got to make money, of course. They're going to try to use their expertise and all of their knowledge that they've picked up over the year. That's a little book I've got going on here. And then we've got to get our teams together. And then we got to merge all of that together till we find the heart of the story. And now we start telling and teaching to the heart of the story. This is why I got into this business. And if people are passionate about it, then they start to want to join that. And then you start to get your organization, which means you now have to hire to that story. Hey, listen, this is how we started that story. These are the people coming in. And then you have to train to the story every week, every month, just a reminder, let's gather around. This is why we do this. This is why we do this. And then we have to lead to the story. And then we have to realize that nobody's just going to let you get away with this. If you start having a successful story, the market is going to react, and they're going to look for ways to either outcompete you, maybe even buy you. And in the same time, you're going to have internal resistance that is inevitable. And then eventually something happens and the story ends and you yield the field. So this is the story arc for our business, all businesses. You can walk into any business and your eye test will tell you if they're headed for some sort of disaster. Do the people care? Are they engaged? As I've said, the secret sauce in this is to figure out what we're going to do with that 85% of people, right? Right now, statistically, 85% of the people who work for a company, don't really care about the company. They're not involved in the story. That means if they don't really care, what kind of effort are they putting in? If they do care, the whole thing flips, and now you've got a company that is people are passionate about and is more profitable. How do we get there? Well, have you ever gone into a restaurant and they're supposed to sing happy birthday to this guy over on table 4, and the workers go over and happy birthday? You can just it's painful to watch. And the reason is they haven't taught the heart of the story. Now, the problem is people will say, well, wait, we don't have one heart. We have 4 components. We have, 4 core principles. And why 4 core principles? Because when you got together as a group, you couldn't agree on one. And what happens when that happens? Well, now you get internal conflict. Let's say that, and if I were to throw a ball at you, you'd catch the ball. If I were to throw 3 balls, it's hard to catch 3 things. So when you start having these multiple core principles, they start to conflict with each other. So let's use a great example. Toyota. The heart of their story is Kaizen. I don't even know how to spell it. It's Japanese. It means constant improvement. That's the heart of their story. I think if they were smart, they'd make that the slogan of all of their advertising, because that is what Toyota is. When you get a Toyota, you get something that is reliable historically, and they are constantly trying to improve it, right? When you walk into a place and they're energized, that is what they're doing well, right? It doesn't have to be gooey stuff. Kaizen is a very, engineered principle of constant improvement, but they all answer that call. I don't eat out that much, but Texas Roadhouse, I don't know how, I don't know, maybe that's just my area. But yesterday I went out to eat at Texas Roadhouse, and this enormous man next to me shouted at 120 decibels that it was somebody's birthday and give us a big Texas yeehaw. And when we didn't do it loud enough, he made us do it again. And then everybody in the joint starts clapping. And I said, okay, well, that guy is buying into the heart of the story. Now, it's possible that he was just a guy who had knew his own story so much that he was dragging everybody along. But as I looked around at all of the people in that restaurant, very difficult environment. Go, 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 go. All of the waitresses seemed to be enjoying each other's company. Everybody seemed to be enjoying what is a difficult job, serving food to people nonstop, and they figured it out. So if they can figure it out, you can figure it out. And you're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for them. I mean, why in the world would you want to subject somebody to living working 40 hours a week that they didn't even want to be there at? Why would we want and why would we settle for this? I do workshops, I do PowerPoints, I do one-on-ones, and I help people figure out that story and hold them accountable to finding the heart of the story and then living out the story. If you're interested, reach out to me. Remember, I'm Jeff Gould, America's storyteller. It is essential that you find your story, that you live your story, and that you share your story. God bless.